Leo, as far as the astrology is concerned for the month of May, this is a very, very important month, and especially for you, given we have a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, as well as Jupiter entering to Taurus, both fellow fixed signs or signs that are in the middle of the seasons. And this is really affecting major areas of your life, particularly your career and your personal life, your home, your family. I do get the sense that for a lot of you, this month kind of starts off with this thing that kind of shakes you to your core or at your foundation. But you're rising up into a new role. You're actually stepping into something larger. So don't be afraid of whatever feels like a shifting right now. I know it feels kind of unstable. There's a lot going on where people feel very insecure, and life just feels very, very hard with Mercury being retrograde especially. But don't underestimate yourself. You are really stepping into power and into your authority. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. So the first card I pulled for you, Leo, while I was connecting to your energy was the dragon. And I was like, okay, a little dramatic. I'm kidding. I actually really love to see this card for you because this is really about stepping into your power. It's about finding this inner fire and taking flight. And that's why I feel like whatever is happening for you this month, whatever is changing, and that could be involving your home, your family, something to do with your roots, there really is this blessing that is coming, and it's helping you step into your own power. And you could even think of this maybe as like leaving behind a legacy of your family and stepping into something larger than you into the world. That's kind of an abstract interpretation of it, but I kind of do get that abstract energy because the dragon card from the animal spirit deck is a spirit card, as indicated by this alchemical symbol for spirit at the top here, this circle. So when I see this sort of card, it's like a major arcana, and this is the first card I pulled in your reading. So this is very, very important, and it means there's a very important shift that is happening this month. The dragon actually is associated with the solar plexus chakra, or the Manipura chakra. And it feels like you are really tapping into this inner fire. And that's very, very important for you. So some of you really do need to be working with your sense of confidence, your sense of self, really standing in that, really refining that with those flames. This chakra, this center, this energy is also very associated with Agni, or the fires or light of wisdom. So there are some things that you are seeing that are being illuminated for you during this time as well. I'm curious to see what tarot cards we get for you. What are the messages for Leo? Some other things to kind of keep in mind astrologically. I already said we do have Mercury retrograde. That's actually until the 14th. Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Taurus, which is also kind of contributing to the energy being a little bit disruptive or chaotic in the first part of this month. That with, what's it called? The eclipse that's happening on the 5th. As you can tell, this retrograde makes it very hard to communicate and get our points across. But both of these energies, both of these things astrologically really do contribute to this disruption, or this kind of destabilizing energy, if I'm being honest. Interesting. We have the King of Wands and the Death card in reverse. This feels very interesting because the King of Wands is actually your indicator card, Leo. And the Death card is the indicator card for Scorpio, which is where this eclipse is occurring on the 5th. And what I really feel like is, it's like you're letting go of an old version of yourself. You've outgrown a version of who you were or who you thought you were supposed to be, especially if there was like really strong expectations that were placed on you from your family. And it was almost like you didn't have a say in who you were supposed to be. And I think that's part of this reclaiming with the dragon. But I feel like there's been this hesitancy to let go an old version of yourself. Maybe you're afraid of disappointing people. Wow. There is definitely an ending that is happening for you, and it feels like it's already happened or it's happening very early on this month with the Ten of Swords. You know it needs to end. You do. And maybe it's the way that you understand yourself, or trying to expect yourself to be a different type of person. And it feels very non-traditional with the Hierophant in reverse. It's almost like you're coming to peace with, like, your uniqueness. And really being very proud and standing tall in that energy. And the Five of Swords in reverse, I kind of want to clarify this, but I already know what it's saying. Five of Swords in reverse with the World. You've been trying to walk away from the world, from who you really are. And from your own bigness, your own legacy, your role. You tried to walk away from yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, with the King of Wands and the Death card in reverse at the very beginning here, it's like you became something that wasn't fully you. Or you identified with something that wasn't fully you. Because of expectations that were placed on you. And it's like you're coming back to yourself. And by doing so, you're coming back to the world. What else do we have for Leo? The Nine of Cups in reverse, you're rethinking what happiness means to you, what it is that brings you fulfillment. And this all makes a lot of sense, actually, because even though there's a lot of focus on home and family, it ultimately, we ultimately are in Taurus season. So there's a lot of energy for you that's kind of placed on the role you fill in the world at large, whether that's your career, whether that's on social media, or just some sort of like persona that you step into that's kind of bigger than you, but maybe less personal. That's what this energy really represents. Because it feels like maybe you were successful at something. But it didn't give you that fulfillment that you thought it would. And that can, although be very painful, it's also a blessing. It's a privilege, it's a gift, honestly, to achieve something, to realize that you didn't even want it. Or you wanted it because you thought it would get you what you really wanted. Ooh, okay. A lot of cards coming out now. And there's been a burden that you've been carrying, maybe emotional labor with the King of Cups. And the Moon. I feel like boundaries are something that's really important for you to work through this month as well. And boundaries really just means knowing who you are, where you begin, where you end. Because I see a lack of boundaries here with these cards. And you might not even see fully how you are acting or doing things that aren't actually aligned with you or what you want. You are doing them because you think that's what you need to do in order to be acceptable or to be loved or to be part of something. And again, you're really thinking a lot about what happiness means to you. The Two of Swords clarifying the Nine of Cups in reverse. It feels like there's a pause in your life, actually. Like something is pausing right now. And I know that Jupiter entering into Taurus, it does bring a lot of luck. It brings a lot of expansion. And it's the great benefic, so it brings blessings. And it might seem really backhanded that the blessing for this group really does feel like you're realizing what you don't want to be anymore. But there's also a lot of freedom in that. There's a lot of mobility in that. There's a lot of possibility in that with the world. Because it's like you're finally asking yourself, well, who do I want to be? What comes naturally to me? Any other animal messages? Any other animal messages? Woo. So we have the mouse, the crow, and the fox. The mouse is really interesting because it's like this hyper focus on details. It can honestly be a bit of a neurotic energy. And it's like learning how to use that part of yourself in a way that's actually productive versus using it in a way to stress yourself out. You know, giving yourself something that can utilize an exacting eye or an attention to detail. And it feels like there's some sort of magical thing here with the crow and the fox. I'm actually getting shapeshifter energy with the two of these, which is really interesting. It feels like there's an opportunity or an invitation to explore a new community or to find out who your people are. And that answer might actually surprise you with this shapeshifter energy. It's like you're realizing who your family is. And that's different than what you expected. Or there's something about your family that surprises you. You might be learning something. God, I mean, this lunar eclipse for you, Leo, really could be like a family secret. I'm just throwing that out there. There could be like a major family secret or just some sort of dynamic that you're really clocking, and it's like you can't ignore it anymore. Especially with the Five of Swords in reverse, like whatever you have not been wanting to see in the eye with this dragon, you're staring straight into it. You can't avoid it anymore. It's too big to avoid with the world and the Five of Swords in reverse. And I'm literally hearing like, I put so much of my energy and time and love into this family, into these relationships, and this is what I get. But there is something here. There is a blessing here. Let's actually clarify that. What are the blessings coming in for Leo for the month of May? The Nine of Swords, I do feel like your mental health is actually improving. There might be some things that are kind of coming up that initially make you anxious or depressed, but it's actually part of this purging and releasing. Very, very Scorpio, honestly. And you're kind of getting out of your own head. And it's like you might be realizing you have a different mental story than what is actually happening. I sort of see that with the Nine of Swords for some reason. It's like you're so stuck in your head about something that you almost got caught up in your head and what you made things mean versus what they were objectively about or meant, or maybe just what they meant to other people. Page of Swords and the Magician. Okay, and another two cards that are very important. Four of Cups and the Queen of Cups. I thought it was something else. That's so interesting because I thought this Queen of Cups was like a different card. And what I was going to say about these two cards is like there's an opportunity that is sort of this shapeshifter energy. It's not what it seems to be at first. Things aren't what they seem to be, but it's actually like what you really want. There's a blessing in disguise. There is a blessing in disguise here. And maybe it's what we just talked about, but it's like there's this opportunity or offer that is coming in, and you might be like, oh, I don't really want this, or I mean, I guess I'll explore this and just see what comes of it. But it actually ends up being this really beautiful thing. And your intuition might even be telling you that, and you consciously might be like, oh, well, I don't really want this. I don't really know. But your manifestation is coming through, and it's coming through in a very unexpected way. The Page of Swords with the Six of Swords could also be indicating some sort of travel or you learning new things. You're moving forward and leaving something behind, and it's like you're exploring other possibilities and options. I'm definitely getting that. And maybe that doesn't even become super clear this month, like what exactly this next chapter is about. I mean, I actually think that this next chapter is about exploring. It's about getting to know yourself on a deeper level. Is there anything else for Leo? I do want to pull one more oracle card for you. Wow. Cracked open. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. That's what I mean. There is something really major that's happening, and it's like, I feel like you've been avoiding some sort of pain or like not wanting to go there. But when you finally go there, it's like, oh, this is actually opening me. This isn't breaking me. You're not broken, Leo. Even if that's what other people told you or made you believe, you're not broken. You're being cracked open. And don't resist that process either. And I see that pain. I really do. And again, I mean, this full moon eclipse in Scorpio, it really does hit you in like the most sensitive part of your chart, especially if you're a Leo rising. But even if you're a Leo moon or a Leo sun, it's still hitting you in a very deep way. It does kind of crack you open a bit. But it's helping you see the light within yourself. It's helping you find the fire in yourself as the dragon. And it's about seeing things as they really are. And not with any sort of judgment of good or bad. It's like objectively meeting yourself for the first time. Or meeting yourself again. Maybe a little rendezvous. I feel like a lot of this was very existential, and part of me feels like I should maybe pull more cards, but I actually am going to trust that this is where I should end the reading today. I hope that this was helpful. I hope this gave you some things to really reflect on. I hope this wasn't too intense, but I think there's something really, really beautiful that comes from intensity. I actually love the word intensity, or intense. I think there's a lot of life, there's a lot of energy in it. So even though it's intense, it's not necessarily a bad thing, Leo. I think there's something really beautiful coming out of this month. And again, it might seem like a blessing in disguise at first, but I think it's going to be life-changing in a very beautiful way. I do have links in the description box down below if you'd like a personal reading or maybe a distance Reiki session to kind of help maneuver through this energy or this time. I also have links for my other social media accounts and donations for those of you who feel so called. But really just supporting this channel any way you can with likes, shares, comments, subscribes, anything is super, super helpful, and I deeply, deeply appreciate it. And it just helps me continue doing this work and sharing these messages with all of you. So thank you. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Leo. Have a happy and blessed May.